Oh man, we got Nikki Wood. She has Judge Faith with her today.
Thank you so much, Al and team. So some big news happening in the legal world, and I brought on the best person to talk about it. You may know Judge Faith from her extensive legal analysis of the nation's most high-profile cases on Fox News, CNN, Headline News, and MSNBC. And you can also see her with her tough love, no-nonsense style approach in her own courtroom, in her own show called Judge Faith. But today she is here, as I said, going to break down some things that happened with the Supreme Court this week. So welcome to the show, Judge Faith.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us what the decision was earlier this week in the ruling with the Supreme Court.
So there was a big case the Supreme Court ruled on, and, you know, we've been talking about a lot of these police brutality cases the last couple of years, really more so because there's so much footage now, camera footage. Everyone's walking around and able to record and be a videographer, and then police officers are now wearing body cams. And so it's really calling into question a lot of these cases where police officers make a decision to use deadly force against unarmed individuals. Well, earlier this week, the Supreme Court had an excessive use of force case. It came from Arizona, where a woman was holding a knife. She wasn't approaching the officers. She wasn't combative. She was holding a knife, and one of the officers opened fire and shot her 4 times. The case made it all the way up to the Supreme Court. She didn't die, but she said it was an excessive use of force. And the Supreme Court ruled that it wasn't. And it said as long as the officer didn't know they were clearly violating her civil rights, that they were in the right.
So bottom line that for us, so does that mean that we just don't have rights? I mean, we don't have rights to our physical safety?
The way the law is set up, it is incredibly difficult to hold a police officer accountable for an unjustified shooting. Look at Walter Scott, the case down in South Carolina. On camera, older man, overweight, running away slowly from a police officer. He was shot in the back. It was all on camera. Officer went to trial, and it was a mistrial. The jury still could not convict when everything is right there on tape, on camera. It's because of the way the law has been set up to protect police officers, and the message is their use of force must be objectively reasonable. What does that mean? Well, you look to the officer. You have to put yourself in an officer's shoes. And a lot of jurors don't feel comfortable second-guessing police officers.
And you have some who are not experienced. I mean, they may have gone through the training, but I think that when you're in a real-life situation like that, it's different. And if it's your first time, you may not make the right decision. So before we let you go, Judge Faith, what are we supposed to say? I have 2 teenage boys, one who is just starting to drive, and I never thought that this would be the biggest thing that I would be concerned about. And so what is your advice to people who may encounter the police?
You know, I think that you won't win a battle on the street, or don't even try to win a battle on the street with a police officer. When you're talking about, these are my rights, getting into an argument, why do I have to do this? I say don't do it. There is this notion that being young, black, and outside, Mark Lamont Hill first used that phrase, and it was so true, being young, black, and outside, what that means. Because there's this view that as a black man, they are inherently dangerous. And for whatever reason, the threat level is escalated for that simple fact.
Well, we appreciate you breaking this down, and obviously we will continue to keep a close eye on you and the case. You can learn more about Judge Faith at judgefaith.com. You can find out how you can watch the show in your city and also learn what she has got going on. But we appreciate you, Judge Faith.
Thank you, and I'm happy to come back anytime. Just let me know.
I sure will. Thank you. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Nikki. Still ahead, we got Yasra in the building. We're here